Hello. Good
morning. Art, Beauty, Equilibrium podcast family. We coming to you live straight from Los Angeles, California.
What's happening?
Boom, boom, boom.
Hey man, we gonna jump right into it.
Man, we ain't even doing.
I hope everybody had a good weekend. I celebrated my nephew's 1-year-old birthday party.
Happy birthday!
It was going down. Nephew. They had power wheels that you could control. I ain't never seen that. They had remote controls for the power wheels, and then if you was an older kid, you know how to control the car. You can control the car yourself.
The little cars or
no
the
power wheels.
Oh, okay,
that's dope.
Oh, the power, yeah.
Shout out to my boy James. Happy belated birthday, Shonda. Can you put his IG on there with the, he does custom shoes, y'all. Happy belated birthday, James. Let's get it.
Everybody's in there.
Let's get to it.
Real quick, just a quick sports update. Want to congratulate Lynden. He can actually claim both of his teams.
Oh yeah, Bulls. Yeah, spanked the Clippers. We spanked the Lakers, and the Niners spanked the Rams. We still in the playoff hunt.
Happy freaking congratulations!
Yeah, it was a great Monday.
Should have took that bet.
Man,
I would have owed you push-ups, but you didn't want that issue.
I know, my shirt would have been a little tight.
He didn't want that issue because he didn't want them push-ups.
Hey, man, because this nigga had you doing like 300 in like an hour, man. Come on, man. I had you out here flag polling.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it.
So have y'all been keeping up with the Rittenhouse trial at all?
Man, look.
You been paying attention to that at all?
What's been going on?
I believe it's done. I think the jury is deliberating already. But
well, they dropped the
right. That was one of the
charge,
so they dropped one of the gun charges. Man, no, a lot of people don't. So the judge basically said that the Wisconsin law was written poorly and that it was up to interpretation. But a lot of people are like, hold on, let me pull it up. I'm gonna just read it real quick. So Wisconsin law says any person under 18 years of age who possesses or goes armed with a dangerous weapon is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor. And it defines dangerous weapons as any firearms, whether loaded or unloaded. And then it goes to say any device designed as a weapon and capable of producing death or great bodily harm. So how an AR-15 doesn't fit into that description?
Yeah, that don't make no sense. And he had on a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
You ain't coming to get no coffee with a bulletproof vest on. You're not.
So a lot of people are.
He was with the shits.
And,
all of them.
Hey, and what else? Oh yeah, it was he didn't want the people that got shot to be referred to as victims. The judge said don't refer to them as victims, but he let them be referred to as
what, terrorists,
looters, and rioters.
Oh, that is whack.
Clint said the gun was purchased by his friend and given to him illegally.
Thanks, Clint. See?
Thank you, Clint.
Clinton is a beast.
Thank you, Clint. Wow, that is crazy, bro. Man,
Yeah, so, it's... Now, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this? Because a lot of people are like, he's going to get off, and a lot of
that
people
boy going to get pro... I feel he's going to get probation.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah, exactly. Slap on the wrist. If they take down the misdemeanor gun charge, I mean, what? You expect anything better to happen?
Slap on the wrist.
Protection. What is it? Complexion for the protection. Once again, America.
Oh, hey man, hit the button on yourself, man. I never heard that before. Say it. What is it?
It's
complexion.
Complexion for the protection, man. I'm just saying.
Message.
Yeah.
It's one of them things where, once again,
what?
Your skin complexion is your benefit, and you're absolutely right, Shonda. Why wasn't his mother on trial? Because his mother took him across state lines with the possession of that gun, right? Gun in his possession, his mom took it, so she should be charged as well. She should be on trial.
One thing I say is
that a crime?
What we've been learning is that things that we think
what?
are like black and white in the law, they get changed and twisted.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking, because like, why isn't something happen? That's an outright law. Crime. You are assisting someone in a getaway car on some levels, or
pretty much, like you. That's like if you was to take somebody to go, commit a bank robbery. You are an accomplice,
man.
Why isn't she on trial? And she knew better. But once again, complexion for the protection.
So moving on, did you see DaBaby and how do you say
DaniLeigh? I think that's what it is. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
I'm gonna play a little bit.
I did see it though,
just a little bit. Listen. So he went live the other day, and it was a whole little situation going on at the house where they was pretty much arguing on live.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
No.
It's his people.
Might be his auntie or something.
Sure.
She's a crazy bitch. You wasn't my girl.
Yeah, and then
It's funny, but it's not
You
funny.
ain't never been my girl. My brother.
I think that's inappropriate, man.
know
Don't go
Shawty
lie.
is,
I mean, that's still your baby mama. And
Yeah,
stuff.
still your baby mama, bro. You
And you making yourself look silly on some levels.
because you don't have to be calling her the B word
skip
and stuff
around a
like
little
that.
bit.
My
Because you know all I kept thinking
ain't never
about?
been my girl.
The whole time you're going live with a woman that you had a baby with.
My side bitch.
That's all I'm saying.
Once again,
Yeah, go ahead. Preach it. Yeah.
if you didn't want the situation, sure enough, he said you got.
What you gonna say, Jay?
Go ahead, Jay.
No, DaBaby says it. You know, you lay down. You got to be responsible for your situation.
Nah, man, your
But
shit.
maybe we already know. Look,
Yeah.
wear the condoms.
Man, listen.
So easy.
That's
Wear the condoms. But this is.
I think this
What's
is a
up,
whole
Shane?
culture
Good morning,
though.
people.
I think it's a whole culture
Shima.
of like
Shima's
it's okay
in the
to
room,
just.
y'all.
My thing is like the people had the greatest clarity after they make the baby,
Yeah.
but that clarity is not there prior to.
right.
And it's almost
And,
like
man, clouded. I don't know what it is about that for JJ and that PP. Boy, but once
power of the
that
PU.
blood gets to that
AJ
thing,
Shima here. AJ, she said, "Hold on to this topic."
Yeah,
Shima's here.
She has arrived.
Yeah, she's here.
man. But
Welcome,
once that
Shima.
blood start to flowing down there, people get dumb.
we just moved to the
This
baby.
is my question. This is my question to everybody
Shima,
who
come
watched
over
the
some, a
video.
little bit.
Did you guys notice how I think that the embarrassment is more that it's on social media than than you're actually in that situation.
Yeah,
I think the vibe was kind of like she's more embarrassed that he put her out there.
Of course.
Absolutely.
But you're living in the situation, so I think that kind of like
But
makes
I don't
things
understand.
a little funny.
I don't understand how is he not embarrassed himself? I
They
would be
both-
embarrassed the whole time doing
she's
that.
embarrassed for him putting them on social media, and he don't care.
Do you think that? Do you think that
That
she knew that
should
she was
care.
a side piece?
That's the culture though, right now. That's what I was getting at.
Man, that looks
so
like-
so that's a good question. Do you think she knew she was?
a side piece?
Yes.
Yeah, she is the side
Yes.
piece.
She had to know that.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
She knew, but didn't want to.
How do you not know?
Man, because people have their perception of reality.
Yeah, but I think you're trying to become the main person.
That
But
happens
you
a
know
lot.
your
But is this generation even thinking about what their kid is gonna think about the both of them when they see shit like that?
I think
you
they
putting
more
my
concerned
mama
with,
on blast.
I
you
think
put
they're
my-
more concerned with social media.
See, that's
Yeah,
not
that's-
cool.
Yeah,
culture.
but my thing is this: just like how we had our things when we were growing up, there's no history of what he did. There's no history of what I did, really. And I know that we're, kind of like older than these people that we're talking about, but honestly, these things don't die. The kid is going to be able to probably pull this up, and that when you get into like that type of situation, that's really something that can devastate them, even if they're grown. Even if you're grown
It's in a
and you
database
see
now.
something like that, or whatever,
Pull that up.
it's forever.
Now
you
they can be
know?
like, hold on, you said what about?
I mean, I just think this is a very a situation where it just lacks just a tad bit of maturity, and
It's a lot.
it's a lot, like it was. It's just
He claims he did it for his own protection, and I'm like,
Nah.
you could have
you could have left.
You could have called the police. Like
Like,
if it was that serious. If it was
I
that
heard he did
serious.
call the police,
Listen.
and she didn't leave
Attention.
until the police came.
Attention
But I'm saying
is
you
so
don't- you don't have to, like-
addicting. Attention is the new drug, dog.
So here's
Yes.
my theory, right?
That 15 seconds of fame,
It's-
absolutely.
It's a win-win. Because on one hand, we all know that social media is very much edited and controlled, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
You cannot talk about certain things. You cannot let certain things out. They will take it off and pull it off, right?
Right.
This is all over all platforms.
Yeah.
So in a sense, this is good for if you're trying to keep a people on a low frequency and a low vibration. This right here is golden because it just shows the destruction of the whole concept of like a family. Because
I'm glad you said that. And I was
Thank
waiting
you.
for you to say that.
And exactly.
And you say that a lot, especially when we have debates in here about, you know, the roles between men and women and stuff like that. You are the first one to and I commend you for that, speaking out on this is just a whole situation where it's killing the family.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken away from the role of developing family structure.
And that's the Psy family.
because you
She has. I was just about to say
That's the Psy family, though. Ain't that shit?
yeah.
Right.
What are you talking about,
The
man?
Psy family.
No,
falling apart.
but I'm saying to her, to that child, that's the family. That ain't
Yeah.
the side family. But you're talking about the side babies. I get what you're saying. He got a family. But my thing
It's just
is
all toe up.
we forget they have a baby that's
Right.
like 3 months old together.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if you look at the aftermath, he's like, man, I'm cool on her. I made that
But
choice.
see,
I got to take care of my
he needed
kids.
that too, though, as well. Because as you remember, he just lost a lot of fans and stuff behind
what
the
I was-
statements
so
he
look,
just made.
that's the second part of my theory.
Yeah.
This
So
So you
actually,
think it's you know, it's
this
clickbait
actually,
too?
listen,
For himself?
I'm not going to say that this is not a real situation. It looks
No,
real,
it's
but I'm
definitely a real
saying,
situation,
I'm
but
saying,
He's monetizing on
finally,
it.
you're talking about this man in a light other than calling him homophobic.
Right. I took that page out
You know
of
what
the
I'm
book.
saying?
Yeah.
So, do we forget? Let's go back 30 days. If we was talking about DaBaby, what would we be talking about?
Them homophobic comments he made
Absolutely.
at
Exactly.
that
So-
concert.
So now
Listen.
he's right back in the light without that being attached to his name.
Listen, every relationship has drama. Every relationship you gonna argue.
Exactly.
Listen, if you don't get down with the person who you're with or whatever, then that's probably not the person for you anyway. Because some real stuff is gonna come out. But my thing is this: do you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you've been bigger than the situation? You know what I mean? Like sometimes when there's kids involved, you hold your tongue. You don't say this. You don't act a certain way. You don't do a certain things
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's a kid. You
That's
know
where
what
I was getting at too. Like I feel like some things
Yeah.
is for the perception is reality. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And at that point, for
Definitely is reality.
how you put your family out there will say a lot. You know what I mean? I was a young parent at one point, and it was things I was doing that wasn't necessarily right. Like when we were
Still
getting
a
to,
young parent.
I'm 36, but I had them at 21, and at
But shout out
21,
to AJ because she just sent me a topic on trauma and what it does to the brain.
yeah,
Right.
So even when you're a little kid and you experience trauma,
Mm-hmm.
you process things differently and it stays with you.
And
Yeah,
one
it
thing I
does.
learned in
It
my
really does.
experience is you don't want to make the other parent look bad ever in front of the kids.
And
Ever.
That's
That
one.
part,
Yeah.
right.
Ever.
Yes. I was talking to a friend this weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
she was talking about that, and you spoke about that plenty of times in the barbershop, and I commend you for that. Yeah, you do not, and you know that's one thing my mom's she never did was
Yeah.
talk bad about my dad.
That's
you know?
bad, man.
You know,
Yeah.
you just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, because
So that's like a form of that on some levels. Like, man, y'all doing that. That kid can see that and be like, man, y'all ain't shit.
Hey, but the
Right.
cold part is, to me, when you try to just make somebody else go out of your way to have those things, it's
makes you
like
look
you
stupid.
said, yeah, because it's a
It makes
maturity
you-
thing.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you think you're winning,
You
but
not.
like Jay-Z said, nobody wins when the family feuds, right?
Man.
You supposed to
Facts.
legit
It's like,
care
yeah.
like about how they look to
Facts.
their kids. Like, nah, that means a lot. You know where I
Because what
come
that's
from.
saying about me, I chose you.
yeah. So you got to think
You
about
chose
that,
me.
You know,
Now we hear on social media of all things,
Yeah.
just going crazy on each other.
like you clowning somebody, or you know, like you going through a dispute and you want to bring up their past. It's like, wait a minute, like.
And you laying up with them doing the
Yeah,
same
like
thing.
you-
She just
you
said
was
you
ex-
just
you was
did this
accepting
last
all
night.
this.
So it's
Yeah.
like, come on now, you doing the same thing, and now the next day you want to call the police. You know, it's like that's you unstable.
And she claimed it all started because she ordered she had a Plan B delivered to the house.
So he got mad about that?
That's what she said. Yeah, she said she
Why?
was
'Cause she
on
was-
her social media
Why was
because
he-
they've been still having unprotected sex and
he
and,
wanted a baby then?
Nah, he probably that's probably what he do. He got kids with different, you know.
Oh, and she probably didn't want. Man, this is some role reversal.
Wait a minute. So allegations is
And niggas
he
wanna
got
be
mad
bitches so
'cause she
bad.
ordered-
She said this happened kind of like out of the blue on her social media because once he put out a statement, she put out a statement and on her social media she said that this all started because she ordered a Plan B because they had unprotected sex the previous night. She ordered a Plan B, and she said that's when everything went left.
She probably shouldn't even said nothing. You know, I mean,
I don't.
That's her body. She probably should have just kept it on the low. You know,
at this point, man, it's like you taking. Imagine like something you've been through,
right,
and then put it on social media.
It's too much.
It's like that's a lot, man.
I mean, it's still a choice because it's like you don't have to stay there. It's like, well, did she not have an Uber? Did she not have a car? She could have been walking out the door while he was talking this shit on the phone.
As soon as he would have said, "You my side bitch," why didn't you leave?
Right.
Like you should have been gone. Like,
good morning, Brandon.
What up, Brandon?
That part B.
Yeah, good. Part. Exciting drama is what sells and keeps it going. And you would think you would walk away because, like in real life, who's gonna even stay there? If we going all the way up and it's up, and you pull out the phone and you going live,
it's not. I'm out,
man.
Love a bad guy. People love the bad guy.
Yeah,
people love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Now,
so
on the flip side, like it's kind of like her brother got involved. Now he threatening the baby.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He must didn't see Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I'm like. I don't know, man. But you gotta say something.
I done dealt with stuff like, look, he needs to mind his business, man. One thing you can't do is match the energy of the person's father. These outside people be thinking they can just step in and intervene. You can't match my energy. That little woman you fighting over, that little energy it cannot match mine. Right. But I will whoop your ass. You know
Damn, tell us how you
So what I'm saying, because a lot of people
you're not coming in with the proper motivation.
Yeah, your motivation can't, nigga, this my children.
Yeah.
You can't match that, dog. You need to chill. And, I know that's your sister or that's your homegirl or, but nah,
it's
the baby been a shot that day.
Hey.
He may not
one.
have seen Dave Chappelle. That's why I said, because Dave Chappelle said it. Like,
he
already
shot somebody at Walmart.
You got a body count out here. Give it.
I just think that they need to take it off social media, and them two need to sit down and figure out what they're gonna do with how they gonna raise their child and take it off social media because it's none of our business. But,
facts. Moving on, man. Yeah. 23andMe. Did you guys hear about this? The DNA testing company, 23andMe.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, they're the ones when you want to find out where you come from and where your family comes from, you send in your swab test and they tell you
samples.
They sold their genetic data to they developed a drug using people's DNA and they sold it for like $300 million. And now people are like, damn, they feel a certain way about that because now you got can you imagine how much DNA information they've accumulated?
They purchased Lemonade Health, a telehealth and drug delivery startup.
And what's crazy, I remember, like, real story, I'd asked Shima if she was ever interested in doing that, and she said, I'm cool with giving up my genetic information. Remember you said that?
And I feel like they can make you again.
This is much deeper than, because what came to my mind was Henrietta Lacks. Okay.
Speak on.
So you all know the story with her cells. She had cervical cancer in the 50s and died, but for 20 plus years they were using her cells as a HeLa cells. Mm-hmm. It was in research, developmental drugs. It's cured some things, But my thing is this. This is something that doctors took from her body without permission. You know what I mean? It's millions of her cells all over in laboratories all over the world, okay?
And her family should be getting paid.
Exactly. So, we've seen the movie with Oprah and everything, whatever. But this is the thing that came to my mind. When it comes to genetics and genomes, this is much deeper. You know what I mean? Because now we're talking about not only cells, but we're talking about the DNA that's inside the nucleus, that's inside like your actual genome. So that's something that's even more deeper to me on an ethical level, because now it's like for you to just move and do something with me that I gave to you, you can't sign your life to everything. And we always click through the terms and conditions on things.
And we don't never read them.
Exactly. We checking off everything.
It'd be about like 400 pages. I'd be like, click.
Check. Exactly.
And it's the fact too that it's being sold to like a company, for the development of drugs.
Right.
And just by selling that information, who knows what because I'm thinking like, okay, like who's checking what you're doing?
Yeah.
You got all this information.
All this damn DNA just.
And think about it. How many of these research or these drugs or the things that they're going to develop or come up with, how much will go to the people like you and I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't help but think that it's for cloning purposes or something.
Hold on. I gotta
And
read
they
this.
still.
I gotta read this comment. AJ said, "Stop thinking black folks be creating motherfucking conspiracies. We be knowing our jokes turn to real life."
Oh man,
Yeah.
that didn't even come up on my chat. Damn,
That is it.
I didn't even see that.
Right.
Yeah, they probably took it down. Look, see, see. Hey, he said he couldn't even see the comment.
I couldn't see the comment.
That's crazy. But so yeah, you know, I heard a few people say that they was cool on it for that very reason. And then if you remember too, I think we covered this before in a podcast where a lot of times the information wasn't even accurate.
It wasn't even accurate.
They was going by like if you had the same last name and you live in the city, oh, they from there.
Right.
So they
Might
wasn't
all
even
been
they wasn't even
nonsense.
doing the job, but then gonna turn around and sell the DNA.
Right. Right.
But you know they don't got to worry about it now. They made $300 million. So
Crazy.
and the company is I think their stock is got a little bump, like $1 bump. It's out there, and it's an inflammatory drug, I believe, for inflammation. But
And they say a lot of the red tape along with drugs, the pharmaceutical, big pharma, but they say it's a lot of red tape, and most of the drugs that are developed, they pay millions of dollars for these drugs to be developed, and they don't even make it out onto the market, mainstream market. So
Wow,
that's
that's
also
crazy.
something you have to think about. People have room and money to play because they have the $1 and $1 billion behind these companies, but they don't really basically have to even,
And-
be held accountable,
And then on that note, a lot of times, how many times do people start off making a drug, and then they like, okay, this doesn't help inflammation, but I notice everybody getting sleepy. Let's make a sleep aid drug.
Right.
And it's like a whole side effect that'll turn into
That's how Viagra started.
yeah. You said what happened? And then they write that down, and that becomes the drug a lot of times. To your
Yeah.
point, it might not go to the market for what it was intended, but it'll get reused for something else. So
Yep.
who knows? Just keep an eye on that, and you might want to have a second thought if you're thinking about, just giving up your DNA out
Right.
there. So moving on. Now this topic, I'm gonna let Lynden. This came up in the shop.
What?
This the self-love. We got in a conversation where we were basically talking about is you felt self-love might be
I might have been explaining it wrong, but I remember I was watching something on YouTube, man. You know how it is, some of this YouTube shit. But it was basically talking about like
What?
the hyper. There's like this
don't
new
know.
like hyper intense level of like just all of this. I don't need anybody, just I love myself. This, that, and other. I don't need nobody but me. Everybody is out for self, and that to me, that's just overcompensating for the same like okay, trauma manifests itself in many ways, right? For some of us, we may have super duper low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We may have a problem with boundaries and things like that. And then on the flip side of that, you might try to act like you're perfectly fine and you can do this all by yourself. And I noticed that in today's society, I see a lot of a whole lot of I don't need nobody but me. We canceling everybody. Relationships and everything is just coming to an end. And I feel like one of the reasons is there's no balanced view of I don't know if it's like self-admiration or what it is, but it's
and that's where the argument ensued, because a lot of people felt like you can't love yourself too much.
Right.
That's like being a narcissist or self-centered, and self-love is all good. But there is something there to your point. It's something there, but I don't know if that would be love.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. It could not be that. I don't know. I could be wrong about that part, but I do feel like there's something going on right now where I just feel like we loving ourselves, or we're admiring ourselves, or we're too into ourselves, or something just a little bit too much. And I think it's like nurturing like selfishness and being more self-centered. And I think it stops like relationships from even coming together, which I think that's what they want to do anyway. Like you always talk about the family. That's a form of a relationship. Like all dynamics of relationships are ending. We're not even going out the house anymore. We're in the house 24/7. So I just feel like there's different agendas and things that are set in place to stop relationships from coming together. And one of them is loving your damn self too much or admiring yourself so much to where you coming into relationships, you not being selfish. You're always out for self. What is it in it for me? What am I getting out of this?
I think it's two different
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I mean, I do think it's two different things. I think that there's nothing wrong with having like a me, myself, and I mentality when you need to, because if you don't have yourself, we always talk about this, if you don't have your mind together, if your mind is not right, if you're not together, if you're not stable, if you're not, then how are you even going to be good for somebody else? Like, you got to just get that together first. And I think that self-love, sometimes you have to pull yourself away from every situation.
That's a bar.
So you can be okay. So I think that's like the difference here.
Because I don't know if you can love yourself too much. I don't know that. I don't even know there's such a thing. But I just wonder how much of this like self-love movement is actually
self-preservation is the first land of the law.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm just saying.
Because sometimes you could say you love yourself, but shit. If you're not doing loving things to and for yourself,
I do feel like some of it is a crutch. Like, you know, but
a facade too. Kind of.
We do need to learn how to love ourselves, and you know, but we do. We don't need to take ourselves so goddamn serious at the same time. So
I feel like a lot of times is what you hear people say in a transition phase. So I think that's what you like. In other words, if we break up and our relationship doesn't work out, then you be like, man, I'm focusing on me right now. I'm loving myself. And you might not be over that person, or you might not have moved on or done any of that. And then I think when it's like in that area where it's just like something you just saying, it comes off as like a little bit. It's not authentic.
So do you feel like we've gone from like a relationship era to like just now everything is just single, me, myself, and I mean we got people marrying themselves now and different things. Like, am I on to something, or you know what I'm trying to say?
I do feel like
the
relationship.
I'm talking about all of them.
Listen, if relationships were a stock, the value would be plummeting because. For real,
it will be like
it's done. It's sell.
Yeah,
like because if you look where we're headed, we got the metaverse coming out. We got Earth 2.0. We got social media becoming like even more part of our lives. We always on our phone. People, you can be in front of somebody and talking and they on their phone. I'm sorry, what was you saying? Like, so that interaction and those relationships, that whole thing is being downplayed
like
to a point
interfered
where
with. Yeah,
I mean, I will
but
say
isn't that selfish
if
you talking to me and I'm like this?
I don't know. I think
it's on perspective.
You're not present. I guess
should not give you. We were taught to have eye contact when someone is communicating with us.
That's out.
Yeah,
so this is kind of disrespectful. What if we out to dinner and we having a conversation over dinner?
See, now that's different. Out to dinner, right?
That's kind of selfish.
Out to dinner, yeah. But if we chill in the barbershop and cats is talking, I'm not gonna trip if G on his phone.
But Jay, even once upon a time, that was disrespectful. Any conversation without eye contact was not appropriate.
But that's not self-love, though.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think like, you know, like I don't want my client trying to look at me in my. I don't.
You say you don't want a client? What?
I don't want a client looking me in my eyes while we having a conversation. Look straight. Let me cut your hair. But it's a lot of clients be like, yeah, no, look.
Hey, I've had that. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like I don't. We can have a solid conversation without me looking eye to eye. You know?
Gotcha.
But that's all I want to say.
That's different. I know, but I'm just saying.
You can love yourself, and that doesn't make you selfish.
Right. Gotcha. Absolutely.
But doing the things you're describing, who wouldn't that would drive you crazy, man.
Okay, but what I'm describing is that even in the self-love category.
I don't think so.
Can you love yourself too much?
I don't think that's self-love.
Yeah, that's
or
different.
maybe it's just two different things.
That's something different.
Because sometimes
it's real narcissist out here, and then it's like, you know, people are just,
that's the time I got
self-love.
You got it.
That's right, John.
We're into too much self-love right there, y'all.
Self-love, see?
Thanks, y'all.
Oh, Silk Sonic. If you haven't heard it.
Smoking out the wind. Hey, man, my favorite song is number 3. You already know why.
Thanks for watching, y'all.
Check it out if y'all get a chance. Nice album.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.